Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the brand new ship launched into STFC during April of 2025, the GS-31. This little, don't know what to call it really. This little concoction of a garbage scow. We are going to take a quick look at what it does, how it's going to help you within specifically wave defense, but we're going to have a look and see what it does, how it works. We're going to take a look at the brand new refineries which have been updated literally a week after it was launched. We're going to dive into all those changes, talk about how good this is and how this is going to be your best source of ship parts, one of the biggest bottlenecks in the game. Ship parts are basically what this ship is all about. Let's dive in and take a look at it in a bit more detail. So the GS-31, it is an Ops 45 ship. Yes, we've moved up to 45 as the entry level Ops range for ships here in April of 2025. And this ship, as much as I don't really love how it looks, it is pretty good. And it's also got some pretty unique abilities as well, which obviously we'll talk about, and how this is an improvement on old mechanics. We're going to compare it to other specialty ships as well. I think you'll be very interested to see how this will progress within your game. Now, this could become, let me say it now, this could become one of your main grinding ships in the game as well, which is bold statement, but I'm going to see if I can prove that to you as well. So, what's it got? It's got a few abilities. So, it's got a gravitational blast, which we will demonstrate to you on the video today. We'll demonstrate exactly what that does. We'll talk about why we think that you should maybe buy this month, why you think it'd be good, how this is, talk about its refinery, which is why we do it all anyway. It's got other abilities as well. So, Apex Shred against Apex Raiders, which are solo wave defense hostiles. So, Apex Shred basically meaning that it's mitigating the impact of Apex Barrier, so it's mitigating that, so it's mitigation on mitigation basically, and obviously it's going to be able to counter that, and also damage against the solo wave defense hostiles as well. There it's two passive abilities, and then its gravitational blast is its active ability, one that you have to physically activate to be able to use. So what does it take to tier up? How does all the refineries work? Let's talk about this in a bit of detail. So, in order for you to get the stuff that you need to be able to upgrade this, the stuff that's used in the refinery is called GS-31 Recon Data. GS-31 Recon Data is granted to you by completing the new solo wave defense, and this is the elites only. I'll quickly pull up a table now to show you how this works. So here we go, courtesy of Jules Verne, Blue Mandalorian, Kazel, all of the other Sanguine Otter, all the other people that put so much time and effort into these charts. We thank you so much for all the work and effort that you do with these. This chat is available in our Discord. The link to the Discord is down below in the description of the video. You can access every single chart as it's updated by Jules Verne. This is the one and only home for those charts. So you can find that in our Discord if you need access to this. And I'm going to be going through a couple of pieces on this chart. So this here in the chart itself, the basic wave info tab shows us the payouts for these new elite solo waves. So the elite solo waves, if you're hitting the G4 versions, if you clear it, obviously only 3 waves, you're getting 2,900 access tokens. You're still getting the Section 31. You're still getting the mirror tokens, providing you can beat wave 3s on them. But then you're getting this new one here, GS-31 Recon, which is what I was showing you in the refinery, is the stuff that's used to fuel the particular refineries to be able to upgrade your GS-31. So it's important, obviously, when you get down into the G5 and the G6, those numbers just increase, and obviously the number of waves, similar to the solo waves from last month, they increase from 3 to 5 once you hit the G5 level. But you can see that by completing one, if you're G4 competing even just level 2 of the wave, you're going to be getting 600, which is important. Level 3, you're going to be killing 900 again. It's all important stuff. It's all really good. About 1800 total is what you would be able to get by completing waves 1, 2, and 3 of G4, and then 4500. Now these numbers are huge, and I'm going to explain why. Because if I go back into my game and I show you the refinery, a double chest pull is only 500 of the recon data. 500 of the recon data, and that's for me in G6 with a tier 1 GS-31. So you might say, well, that's just easy because it's tier 1. And then there's an officer acquisition bundle as well at 250. So the maximum I can spend is 750 a day at tier 1. However, check this out. So if we go back into another tab on here and we take a quick look at the actual GS-31 refinery, look at this. Now this is work in progress, so this will be updated as we go because we have got an increase to the number of parts, which I'm going to come to in a second for ship parts. From tier 1 all the way through to tier 15, to tier 15 ship, those chest costs never change. That is amazing. Honestly, it is absolutely superb. Shout out Scopely. Congratulations to you. Well done. We have got a refinery. It doesn't change regarding on tier, and I'm really excited about this. This ship does have certain ops locks, so you are stuck at tier 3 until you get to 51. You are stuck at tier 6 until you get to 56. You are stuck at tier 9 until you get to 61, and then you're stuck at tier 12 until you get to 67. So you have to be up 67 to be able to max this ship, which I don't think is too bad. Decent locks in there. Obviously keeping it to where you want it to be. Now, what do you get from your refineries? That's what increases by tier. So as you can see, the costs of the chests do not change. 250, 500, amazing. And then the recruit bundle, again, 250. Doesn't change all the way through. As you progress in tier, you're not getting more shards. You're going to be, your percentage of getting more shards goes up as you work through the tiers, which I think is nice. So once you get to sort of tier 12 here, there's no chance of getting 1 or 2 shards. It's just a chance of going to be getting 3 or 5 of the rare. No chance of getting 1 epic shard. You're guaranteed to be getting 2, 3 or 4 of the epic as well. Decent. Happy with that. Happy with the way that works. Sorry, just saw my dog there. Saw my dog there as I went down. I apologize for that. Okay. Really happy with the way that this refinery is structured. And as you can see, when I go back into the basic wave info, I need 750 a day, whether I'm a G4 player, whether I'm a level 70 player. Completing one of the G4s is going to get me 2 and a bit days worth of recon data to max pull it. Not bad. If you're a G5 player, you're getting 4,500. 4,500 if you can complete a G5 elite solo. Now remember, if you're a G6 player, the G6 elites are really tough. And this is going to be very similar for the G5 guys. You're going to find killing level 5 as a G5 player really tough. These things are designed to be really difficult. So what you might end up doing is you might end up actually, unless there's an event on, jumping down a grade in order for you to be able to do it. I do this, so when the events are on like they are today, and I have to kill G6 for my events, I go and do a couple of waves in there, because that's all I can do. Bear in mind that I'm an op 68, but on my day-to-day runs, I'm just level 5ing. I'm clearing all 5 waves of the G5 solos, even though I'm a G6 player. So that could be a strategy for you to be able to use. But you think 4,500 if I kill a G5, 4,500, I need 750 a day, getting me 6 days. Completing one of these is getting me 6 days worth of max pulls from the refinery, doing 1 G5 solo. Plus, I'm still getting all 3 of the other credits to fuel my Section 31 refinery. Outstanding with regards to payout. So we also have the actual map itself. So Elite Waves, we can see the maps here. So we've got the G4s down there, and then we've got across to the right hand side, we've got the G5 and the G6. Now these are really important to note that starting here, look, and even in the G4 ones, these are elite. They are determined elite. They are much more difficult than the previous iteration of solo waves. In the G4s, you've got 6 hostiles, and then 9 at the end. 9, it's tough. But then starting to the G5 and G6, you've got 6 hostiles and then 9. You've got so many more hostiles to be able to do it. As you can see down here, the ones out in red, the Reaver hostiles, these are really tricky, really tough for you to be able to take out. They are really tough. And you want to make sure that you are using your best ships. The GS-31 will come into its own once it's tiered. Now, the way that this was sold to us, the way that this was explained to us, was that in order for you to be able to use this in G4 space, in G5 space, to be able to do the G5 ones, you would need your GS-31 to be at around tier 5. To be able to go and compete in the G5 waves, and for it to be useful, and you would need it at around tier 10 or 11 to be able to make it useful in G6. Now G4, you will need it substantially lower than that. I would say around tier 3. So if you're still in the G4 world, you're 45 plus, and you're just taking to this, you're going to need it. You're going to be stuck at tier 3 anyway until Ops 51, as I showed you in the chart before. However, it's very important that you do work on this ship, not only for you to be able to succeed in the waves, which has some great payouts, but also for you to be able to keep it up to date with your refinery to be able to get your ship parts. The ship parts are going to be so important, and I'm going to explain that in a second. Let's just really quickly recap exactly where the solar waves work. Because the ship parts we're going to come to in a second. I'm going to explain all those. We're going to tear up the ship. We're going to take a look at it. But the new waves, as is always the pattern, the latest waves are always in a different colour. So when you go to your waves section of the map, when I press the correct button, of course, we go up here, we've now got a huge slew of solar systems, and the new solar waves are in yellow this month. If you're doing this later on after April and we've got more waves, they may not be the yellow ones, so be conscious of that as new waves are introduced, they get the gold colour, and then even the ones from last month, the original solar waves have gone into the standard blue waves. So there are 3 different sections, as you can imagine. You've got the 40s up there, the 45s, you've got the 50s, and then you've got the 60s down here. The 60s, oh god, they are so tough. Even the highest echelons of the game are struggling a little bit with the 70s. So if you are a low G6 player, again, let me go back to my tactic of if there's an event on, yeah, see what you can do in the 60s, but your standard route of getting loot and stuff is going to be from these 50 waves. But that's the solar waves. Obviously, we're here to talk about the GS-31, but I've just got to quickly reiterate why you would use that. So the GS-31 refinery, outstanding. Right at the bottom of your refinery tab, it's these bundles here, the ship parts. Ship parts are, and I'm going to hold it, they are the biggest bottleneck within the game, obviously for your ships especially, but I've still got G4 ships. Bearing in mind I'm an Ops 68 player, I've got G4 ships that still need parts. I've actually been pulling this so that I can max my Tribune. My Tribune's not even maxed yet. I mean, look at this as a G6 player. 470 rare parts. It's ridiculous. Now remember, I am seeing the G6 versions of these in game, which is why I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you what's currently work in progress on the chart, but I'm going to show you the parts payout, and these have been massively increased based on player feedback from how it was launched only a week ago. These have been bumped considerably to see where they are. Let's take a quick look back at the chart and we'll have a look and see exactly how all this works in terms of the refinery and make sure that this is actually increased. So this was how it was presented when the ship first launched. So this is how it was launched a week ago. I'm going to look at a couple of these numbers here. So we're going to take a tier 1. We're going to look at it as a G4 player. G4 player, we was getting 650 uncommon and 90 rare at tier 1 for the 4-star bundle. 650 and 90. 650 is a decent jump, and 90 is also really good for a tier 1 version of this ship. 650 and 90. Now if we go back up to the current ones, look at this. Tier 1 G4. 3,510, 470. It's huge. It is absolutely huge for you to be able to get that. Okay, and as you can see, it scales exponentially. Once you get to sort of tier 4 here, your G4 refineries max. Once you get it to tier 9, your G5 refineries max, and you've got to get all the way up to tier 15 to be able to max it at G6 level. Now, we are assuming that there's going to be ops locks for rare parts as well, which may be something that is going to be filtered in. So come back and check this. As you can see, this has been updated today, the 15th of April, 2025. Come back and check this chart, as again, link to this is on our Discord in the charts channel. You'll be able to find it. Thank you again, massive thank you to Jules Verne Blue and everybody that puts all these charts together. But these ship part numbers are so big that you need to make sure if this is the only reason that you buy and work on this ship and engage in solo waves, this will be worth it to your game to be able to get there. It's massive. Now we're going to take my ship up. I'm going to show you some upgrade costs so that you can see it. I think I've got enough to be able to get my ship up to around tier 5 now. So that should get me here as a G6 player up 61 plus. I'm hoping to be able to get it to tier 5, which means I'm still not quite getting G6 rare, which means that because I'm not getting what I actually want, this is what I want. I want G6 rare parts. If I can only get it to tier 5, I'm going to hoard my refinery tokens. I'm just going to hoard them. So these up here, the recycle tokens, which are granted from your GS-31 strongbox, which I've explained to get, you're going to be able to get 2 bundle pulls per day on a 22-hour cooldown. Obviously, your officer acquisition again, 22-hour, and it's got some decent officers here. New officers, Section 31, Giorgio, Rachel Garrett, Una, okay, and Riker. These are speed officers, sort of gearing you towards obviously the wave defense, obviously, because they want you to have more speed, because impulse is really important, especially when you've got 9 hostiles flying at you from different places. So let's take a quick look and we're going to upgrade our GS-31. You can see here that mine is currently sat at tier 1 level 5. Okay, tier 1 level 5, and we're going to upgrade this. So we're going to use some of these parts, the GS-31 parts, which, like I said, are granted from that lockbox, which you can do every 22 hours. We're just going to work through here, and we're going to see how far we can get on this amount that we have managed to acquire. So we're going to go through this. What I'll do is I'm going to see how high I can get it, and then I will be right back. Now, every single time you tier up the ship, okay, so mine is now at tier 3. I did this before. If you go back into your refinery, you will find that your refinery does reset for everything, okay? So strongbox reset, still 500 parts. So we're getting some more GS-31 parts. The convert modifications are for research, which I'll explain in a second, and obviously some recycle tokens as well, and obviously the officer acquisition as well do that. But don't forget that if you are going to be going through a couple of bundles or a couple of tiers because you've been saving for an event or whatever, make sure that you come back here every single time that you tier it up and grab your 2 bundles that you need. This is the warp core, obviously in order for me to be able to get it to tier 4, so you will need to be Ops 51 to be able to get this. It's great that it's free, and it just pops as soon as you are eligible to be able to claim that bundle. Then we'll go back into our back into our ship, and we'll carry on upgrading it. Oh, we're running out of running out of titanium. Let's go get some titanium as well. Be back in a second. And that's all she wrote. I managed to get to tier 5, and I'm now out of parts. So I've just upgraded it. So what do we need to do once we've tiered it? We need to go back into our GS-31 refinery and re-pull our bundles, get a few more parts. It may allow me to put one more component on maybe. But what you can see it's done to my refinery, we've now getting the maximum amount of G4, 945 a day. It's massive. And then we're getting 200 rare a day from this, and we're starting to get some uncommon explorer parts. Like I've said, for me, I think that depending on what grade that you are currently at, these are what it's all about. The rare parts, the uncommon parts are important. I will give you that. However, the rare parts are really, really where the bottleneck is. So I would strongly implore you that when you are working on a particular grade, wait until you get your rare parts in there before you actually start to pull it. And again, just to reiterate, go back to the refinery, new pads, you're going to get G4 rare off the bat. You're not going to get G5 rare until you get to tier 3. You're not going to get G6 rare until you get to tier 6. I would absolutely wait until you get to these points before you start pulling your bundles. Hoard your transfer tokens until you're at the point. Don't waste them on just getting uncommon. I know uncommon sounds important, but look at the jumping uncommon as well. Once we go to tier 6, 1395 from 340. Don't waste it on getting these piddly amounts. Wait till you get up here when you're getting that valuable rare materials. So important to you. Like I say, 200, that's what it costs you to be able to do it. 200 exchanges means you have to be double pulling this chest in order for you to be able to get the 200 recycle tokens to be able to use. We don't keep pulling this either. Obviously this will show up forever, which irritates me, but it's good if you want to build more than one, I suppose, and there could be a reason for building more than one. There potentially could be a reason. We can throw one more part on, so we will do that. What can we put on? The cargo bay. I'm not going to waste it on the cargo bay. I'm going to wait until we get something a bit better. But what we haven't done is leveled the ship. As you can see here, that the gravitational blast that increases, upgrading the GS-31 and researches it to increase the gravitational blast, you can see here the difference that it makes. Damage versus non-armada hostiles. So you can't use it against armadas. This is based on tier, so it's not based on level. What's based on level are these 2 passive abilities. So you can see here, 40% 115. Yeah, 40% 115. Let's throw another level 5 levels on here. 40% and then 115. We're now at level 10. We're now at 58% and 175. Huge damage boosts in solo wave defense. Okay, we will continue to level that, but remember, so your gravitational blast is based completely on the tier of your ship plus the research. Remember I showed you that in your lockbox you get one other material that we never talked about in massive details, the convert modifications. These are used in your Starship's research tree. The Starship's research tree, which we will just quickly dive into now. And we'll go right across to the end of our Starship's tree. And at the very end, we can see the new sections for gravitational blast researches, all geared towards the GS-31. So there's some here, look for increasing the warp range, which is more, not necessarily for wave defense, don't really need it for that part of it. But if you're going to want to be using this as an active grinder, which I think it will be really coming to its own on, you can use that. multi-target gravitational blast. Now this is heavily gated by your ops level. I'll really quickly show you this. So this is basically increasing the number of hostiles that you can hit. The base number is 3, so your beam will split into 3, which I will show you in a second. This increases that beam. I think what I should do is I should go and show you exactly what that gravitational beam actually does. So we're going to jump out into a system. I'll be back in a second. So I've set my ship up here to Romulus. Okay, you people that are wanting to go out and grind parts and grind all those bits and pieces that you might want, all the reputation you might be using this system for if you're early doors. And I've picked this system specifically because when you're checking these sorts of things, you need to be looking at the hull health of the ship. Because the gravitational beam, which I'm going to show you in a second, does direct hull damage. You've got to look here and look at the hull health stat of a hostile, 18.46. And then you need to compare that to the tier of your ship and what damage the gravitational beam does, which again, going to this little button here, going to the bottom, you can see this key. So you can see here mine at tier 5 is doing 27,300,000. More than the 18, which means it can kill anything in this system. I probably could go a little bit higher, but I'm doing this for demonstration purposes only. Remember, you can increase this number with research, which I'm going to show you in a second. But now I can come in here and I'm going to show you that if I just target a hostile and click this button down here, you get a little pop-up which is explaining what the gravitational blast does. This ability has a 272,000 cooldown. Don't really make any sense, does it? But we're going to flag that and see if we can get that sorted. But then we kill it and watch this. It killed 3 hostiles. It did kill. Why didn't it kill any more? Yeah, interesting find. We only did 6,300,000 damage. I think that the tier element is actually wrong. I think it's all based on the level. I think this way it says it's the tier, but I think it should actually be the level of the ship. 6,300. Yeah, look. So we're only at level 10, which is tier 2 stats. This says it should be tier 2. It's tier based as opposed to level based. So we found some out there that it's nothing to do with the tier of your ship. It's all to do with the level. So that means that if I go back to my base here and I upgrade it to level 25, I think that's when we will be able to go testing. It's always worth it, isn't it? Let's just throw some levels on this. I'll be back in a second. So we're now taking this up to level 25. I'll just really quickly show you. So we're now up to level 25, which is the maximum you can go at level 5. At tier 5. I'm going to move away from the hostiles that I hit before, because this should, in this system, be able to kill any hostiles. Because we check the hull and we check the damage that it's going to be doing. This should be doing now 26 million. So any hostile should now be done. There is a 5-minute cooldown. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for this 2-minute timer to run out because there's a 5-minute cooldown for you to be able to use this. So really quickly, while that timer runs down, think about when you're going to use this in waves. Now, when you can actually kill the hostiles with the GS-31 within wave defense, you need to be making sure that you're only going to be able to use it probably once during a wave defense. So you may decide that you want to save it for one of the later waves. There may be a wave pattern that's more simple than the other ones, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So if we go back to the Elite Waves map, so we go back to the map of the Elite Waves up here, Wave 5 is actually pretty easy, providing you've still got 3 ships left. If you've got 3 ships surviving to the end of Wave 5, it's quite easy to kill all 3 of those, whereas look at Wave 4. Wave 4, they are coming from all around the clock in different directions. You've got 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You may decide that this is actually the way you want to use your GS-31 ability. Because bearing in mind, you're only going to get to use it once during that 5-minute cooldown. This is probably where I would suggest that you use your GS-31, Wave 3 or Wave 4, pending which one you find more difficult. Wave 2, you can be pretty steady with it, but by this time your ships are getting weaker, the hostiles are getting stronger. So Wave 3 or Wave 4 are probably where I say the GS-31 is the most useful. That's probably the tactic that I would use. There's 30 seconds left on this. We'll be back by magic as that timer resets. Right, timer reset. We can reuse our GS-31 ability. The 5-minute cooldown's run out. Stayed away a little bit so that you can see how it works. Now, what it targets, you watch which hostiles that it actually targets. To do it, you've got to be able to click on a hostile and then do this. Press confirm, and it will target the 3 closest hostiles. I don't know if it only got 2 there. Nope, it did. It got all 3. So it killed 3 hostiles straight away. You still get the chests. You still get all the loot from the hostiles as well, including any reputation. fantastic. You've managed to really speed up your grind, especially if you think you've got to kill 25 hostiles, takes you 10 minutes, you're taking off a couple of minutes off that as well. Now, the reason that this ship is going to be outstanding once you start to get it developed. Once you get it maxed out for your tier, you may find that this becomes your new daily driver. And I've got a super interesting chart to show you. I'm going to pull that up now. Now, look at this chart. This chart's showing you the different specialty ships, including the Borg cube. It's showing you, as per tier, how their base DPR and SHP, which is shield hit points and then hull hit points, how they are increasing over tiers. Now, there's a couple of standouts in here. If you look at what everybody uses up in G6, you look down here at the Borg cube. It's the second one in from the right here. You notice that it's got really good HHP, it's got decent DPR, but then look at things like the relativity. So the relativity is being used by lots of high-end players who've got it really well tiered up. You can see that the relativity has fantastic HHP, and they're using that to grind as long with its hazard resistance research, which outpaces the Borg cube massively. And the GS-31, look at this, its DPR by comparison is almost double, and its HHP, its survivability in terms of shields and health, are pretty much equal to a tier 15 plus Borg cube. Well, bear in mind I'm talking about tier 15 here, but this is why I'm saying that late game the GS-31 is going to be massive. And I think it's really good to see, going back to things like the Vindicator, Eviscerator at different tiers, you can see, and also they've put in there things like the Koskari, it outpaces the Koskari massively, Minerva, tier 9. I mean, huge ships these, with massive expense to be able to get them to these relevant tiers. The GS-31 and the relativity, this chart is really showing you how they could come into their own, and why I think it will be a really key grinder for players, providing that you work on it and providing that you work on it. And that's so important for ship parts, to be able to work on those ships, because you need them to tier up your Borg cube, to be able to work on it, to work on all of your other faction ships and things. But massive value out of the GS-31, and which makes it not a one-trick pony, but a massive multifaceted ship. So I'm going to drag my GS-31 back. I'm going to take one last look through some of the research and where I think that you should be focusing. And we'll also have a look at the tier locks for the gravitational blast increases, because you saw that I killed 3 hostiles there, but you can increase it as you work up in ops. So I'll pull that up now. So courtesy of STFC.space, as I've said, once you're at Ops 45, you can build the ship, and you need to be at Ops 51 for you to be able to take it from killing 3 hostiles. You get an extra 1 at 51, so you can take it to killing 4 hostiles. And then to take it to level 2, you would need to be Ops 61, and that will take you to 5 hostiles. So it's only a 2-level research, and they are gated by your actual grade in the game, whether you're G4, G5 or G6. The number of hostiles that you can kill with your beam is increasing by 1, which I think is decent. I think it's good. Obviously that increases over time, and a massive incentive for when you get up into the next generation in the game, that you can get extra value out of your GS-31. But let's take another look at the Starships research, and we'll have a look through it and see how it goes. So I think that's a massive one. I think if you have the ability to do that, that's a first priority for you. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that up to 4 hostiles. I'm going to speed that up because I want that now. Other research you've got, so like I said, you've got to do the warp one to be able to unlock the next 3 in front of it. I hate prerequisites for things, so we'll throw that on there. And gravitational field blast is increasing the GS-31's gravitational blast damage against wave defense hostiles only. So it's not going to help you, as I've said out there, with grinding, but adding 60 million. But you've got to look at some of the hull health on those hostiles. That's really important for you to be able to make sure that your gravitational blast is actually capable of killing the hostiles. So scan them, check what they are, check in your battle logs after you've been and done a run, see what the hull health is, compare that to what your gravitational blast is. Remember that the tooltip within the actual game will not include this research added to it. So the one where I was showing you how much you will get damage per hostiles, this will not be added to it. So you've got to manually remember that sort of thing is there. You've got a focused blast, increases damage against players. players, obviously because you can use this against players, and it will apply a weakened state to those players as well, which is nice that we've got a bit of a PvP element, but it's not going to be something that's just going to sit and rip up PvP even more. Increased critical chance against players weakened by the gravitational blast. So obviously by doing that, it's giving you more potency to what that blast is, a bit of a Cerritos type thing. So you're going to apply that state to them, and obviously that's then going to increase the impact of what that weakened state does. And a couple of other PvP bases there as well for you. But what you have got as well, you've got this increases base gas, ore and crystal efficiency cost for ship components, G grade 4+. Love the fact it says 4+, not 4 to 6, which means when G7 comes out, this will still apply. And then you've also got a parts efficiency as well. So not only are we getting massive amounts of more parts, we're also getting additional efficiencies, which again goes up to 200%, which is not insignificant at all. And then for the G6 players, you've got your hazard resistance as well, which goes all the way up to 500, meaning that anything in the game so far, as of easy for me to say, as of April 2025, this ship, GS-31, can be completely immune to all hazards currently in the game, which is really nice to see. And obviously there's a couple of primes being added as well. There's the Prime Starts bundle, grants a free daily bundle containing Section 31 private ciphers, Borg Polygon Group Armada directives, Rare Formation Armada directives, quick starts, from the Section 31 faction store. So this is a prime. Again, this is paid only as we speak now. Hopefully they will add a path for this later, because it's a nice bundle of directives to be able for you to get more. And recycle rewards increases the base GS-31 recycle reward tokens from the GS-31 strongbox by 100%. Basically meaning that you would go from being able to do 1 pull a day of ship parts, you'll be able to double that to 2 should you want to. At the moment, at the time of recording, they are both $100, pound, rupee, whatever currency you want to use primes. That's the GS-31 deep dive. I hope you found that useful. I really like the ship. I like the fact it's multifaceted. I do like the solo waves. I love the fact that it's got it's not a one-trick pony, that we can use it for other things as well. Not the prettiest of ships, but I think it has some fantastic utility. Please, if you've liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff down below that every single YouTuber asks you to do. I really appreciate it. And leave me a comment. Are you going to get it? Are you going to grind it out? Which is something that I should have mentioned. There is a grinder's path for the GS-31, so you can source it. So really quickly before I go, so if you go into your faction store, the sourcing path for the ship, if you go into your Section 31 store, you will see that you actually have a redeem bundle in here. I can't see it because I've unlocked the ship, but it will take you not too long at all. It will take you 100 days standard for all specialty ships. It'll take you 100 days to be able to lock it. Make sure you check back here in your store. It costs very few of the credits for you to be able to unlock that ship. It's very cheap, very good. So there is a path for that. But thank you. Check out itslube.com as well. Consider becoming a member of the channel should you wish to support the channel financially. Grab yourself some merch, all that wonderful stuff. But apart from that, I hope you've had a fantastic journey here into the GS-31. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember that absolutely everything is better with lube. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.